Hello to my keyboarding gang. We are in week 11. We are in session 44 and 45. What we're doing is I'm going to go through some tables in Microsoft Word. So, to start off, you folks have been great with communicating with me. I really appreciate it. And sounds from having positive communication with you folks, and keep that going. If you have any questions or anything I could do to support you, or here and there, we have some glitches with the Cirrus program with submitting it, and you guys have been great. In a couple instances, we had just a little glitch. I know a few weeks back we had an issue. I know Amazon had this big issue, and there was a big tech issue, so that could have been something, the aftermath of that too. So I know that Cirrus was impacted a little bit by that. So we're going to learn how to create a table, enter data into a table, format, put in borders, and make it all fancy. So what's the importance of a table? It's really to take data and to organize it. For example, what we'll do is in Word, I'll give an example of how to start a table and to how to edit a table. But it could be used in your personal life, your professional life, and just in your personal life, is even your finances. Is what we'll do is we want that to be kind of organized in columns and rows, and have some formatting to it. And what that is a lot of it's just readability. It's easier to read, but at a professional level, it's pertinent in certain situations, especially in the area of business, especially with a lot of the accounting. Especially, you would go beyond a table into more of using Microsoft Excel if you got really into a heavy data. But what we'll do is we're going to start. I'm going to show you how to create a table, start a table in Microsoft Word. So we're in Unit 9. This is the PowerPoint that I'm going to just pull up. You have access to it. I'm also going to attach it to the video. So we get to this session 44, and I spoke about the objectives, about creating a table, and then when we get into session 45, we're going to modify and do some things with the layout. So let's get started with if you definitely want to go through these PowerPoints. I'm not going to go slide by slide, but what I'm going to do is go through the table with you on how to create it. So if you want to go through these, and then in the book, Session 44 starts on page 251 in the book, and that's creating and formatting tables, session 44. So let's dive in. I already pulled up Word. This is a blank Word document. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to simply Insert. I'm going to go to Table. And it gives you this little option here to create rows and columns. So a row is horizontal, left to right, and a column is vertical, north to south, up or down. So I'm just going to create a table, and I think I'm just going to do a little mini budget. We'll have some fun with this. So I'm going to do, let's do 5 by 5, and then we could always change some things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Michael Kelly's budget. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just highlight this. Oops. I'm going to highlight this. And I'm going to use one of the features. And let me find it. I'm going to go, right now, we are in the table, and we are in the tab Table Design. So there's different features. You could go to Table Layout, and that could change the layout. But right now, I'm going to go into Table Layout and then do something called Merge to Center, or I'm going to merge the cells. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to say, what do I want to merge? I want to merge A1, B1, C1, and I want to merge all these into one. And then I'm going to go to another feature, and I'm going to simply, I could go simply home and I could center this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my gross income minus my deductions, which are primarily taxes, would be our net. So I'm going to say net income. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to already realize I think I made a mistake. I think I need to if I'm doing my budget for more than 1 month, I might need to add in multiple months. So I'm going to add a row above, and I'm going to say this is net income for, let's say, January, February, March, and April. So let's say this month my net income was $1,000, and then I'm going to do I'm going to do my expenses. So I could say expenses, and this is where our keyboarding skills come in, where I'm inserting data fairly rapidly because of the fact I feel comfortable, like you folks are developing on it in a keyboard. So I'm going to bold this. I could do the icon B or Control B. I'm going to say expenses, and what do we have for expenses this month? I'm going to say, well, I have Netflix. How much is that? Let's say that's what, $50 a month. And then what do I have? Rent. That's $900. Oh no, I'm sorry. Net income a month. I'm sorry. Rent. We're going to say that our rent is $500. And oops, I ran out of space. So I'm going to insert a row below because I have more expenses. I have my phone. That's going to be 100. And let's just say, for all intents and purposes, that's all we have. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wind up totaling, or putting in another row, or let's say insert a row below, and then I could put total, and total expenses. And the total expenses would be $650. And I will build that. So let me do one more. Insert row below, and I'm going to say, let's just say, just total at the end. So what we're going to do is it's $350 is the surplus of what we have. So $350. So that's the basic idea. If you wanted to, you could get into Excel, where you start to get into these cells and do formulas where it would automatically go in and calculate it for you. But you could see you could kind of keep track of your expenses. And it's a very organized way to do so. So let's look at some of the things we could do. Let's get on this table. Let's see what this table could do. We're going to click on this table, and we're going to look at the table layout. Let's maybe change some things up. We could change up the design. Let's go into. This kind of looks cool. Boom. Nope, that doesn't look good. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say all things that are coming in, all incoming money is in green. It would be green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go boom. I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to change that to a green color. All these are expenses, so those are going to be in red. We could play around with all this. We could change the alignment. We could do. Let's go into table layout. We could make these automatically do an auto fit where everything fits to just the contents that you have in there, so it will shrink it. Let me undo that. You could change the text direction if you want to. You could center everything. There's a lot of different things. You could draw your own table if you want to, and just go in there and start drawing a table. A lot of different options within this unit of tables. And what I'd like you folks to do is to get yourself into trouble, and play around with things. That's really how you're going to learn. And it's kind of funny because if you think about the iPhone, and when and you might be, because I am to right now, is I get like nervous when I have to change things in my settings and get in the guts of our phone. But in a sense, that's how I have learned the behind the scenes of my cell phone. And because for me, like, I miss a notification on certain things that are important. That's a big problem in my life. So I have to make sure that I know what my technology could do. And this is just another thing. Just get yourself in trouble with this, because it's the way you're going to learn. So that's a basic table. So we could go in and do a lot of different things. Like we could let me get off the drawing the table here. We could get in with where you're sorting. I just lost that, but where you're sorting the order you could do it in alphabetical order, or you could do it in ascending order or descending order. So you could shade, you could do apply shading if you want, and you could really get into this color. What do they call the color chart? I think there's another name for it, but a color swatch. And you could go into all various colors. So that's kind of my spiel this week in terms of tables, where we're formatting and modifying tables. If you are interested in this, you would want to go into possibly maybe a more comprehensive Microsoft Office class where they combine Excel and PowerPoint and learn the whole entire Microsoft suite. Word is just one application, but they have PowerPoint, they have Excel, Publisher, Access. So that is a table. If you run into any trouble, I'm here for office hours. I'm available. All you have to do is email me. We'll set up a time to virtually meet. Most of you, almost all of you, have done your three-minute timings. So I have those recorded. The grades are all up to date right now. So, and on Friday, I definitely buttoned everything up with all emails. I think everybody, we are in communication. I think we're doing well. If we have been communicating lately, and that is about it. I hope you have a great week. I will be here for you. Anything you need. Hope you have a great week, folks. Okay, bye.